Hi everyone, happy Tuesday and happy New Year. Today it's release day and I'm going to show you our newest Artful Foundations release up close and in detail. Now this release, as the name suggests, Artful Foundations, includes lots of products that are kind of foundational pieces in the sense that you can use them on their own or as like a base to your project and then combine it with other products from your stash, or you can also use those designs or those products as kind of a standalone item or as the star of your card. So let's have a closer look. There are quite a few products in here, as you can see. And we have, let's start with our stencil and die only product suites. Let's start with this one. This is called Wild Meadow Wreath. And as I said, it's a stencil and die only, so you have a 4-piece layering stencil and a coordinating die, or actually it's 3 dies in this set, but it's one really large one that cuts out all of your ink blended pieces in one go. And then you have 2 dies in here that you can use to die cut I Love You. So you have, this is a mock-up of what it can look like. So if you're not familiar with our stencil and die only product suites, I'm just going to explain it real quick. The way it works is that you start with your stencils, you start with ink blending those, and we have those alignment triangles here. So you ink blend over the triangles, and then with your next stencil layer, you just line up those triangles again, and that way you have a perfectly lined up image. So same on all the other stencils as well. So you can see here, the triangles are repeated on each stencil. And then once you're done with your ink blending, you use the coordinating die, line it up the same way with those triangles, die cut everything in one go, and then you have lots of smaller pieces that you can arrange on your card. And if you didn't know, all of our dies and press plates that include more than one piece always come with this magnetic sheet. So you can see here, everything stays in place, so you don't need a different storage solution for your dies or press plates, which I think is great. It doesn't take up that much space, and it's included in the packaging. Now I created one card with this one. Now, next product suite is called Rising Wildflowers. And same thing, you have a layering stencil. This one includes 5 stencils. And you have a 1-piece die that die cuts your ink blended image. Now with this one, you actually get 1 die cut piece. So all of this is 1 piece. And you can see here, so this is a mock-up of what it can look like with the layering stencils, and it fills an A2 card perfectly, so you don't need to cut it down. It's the perfect size for A2, and you have this beautiful flower, rising wildflowers for your card. Next we have the Petal mosaic. Again, stencil and die only. This one includes 3 layering stencils and a cover plate die. And this one can be used, or these can be used on their own, or you can combine them. So this is what the ink blended image or pattern looks like. And you can see here these kind of dotted or stitched lines. That is what the die would add to your design. And it also cuts out some smaller circles in the design. But you can definitely also use this stencil on its own for just a little bit of pattern in your background, or you can even use just one of those stencils. And then you have the cover plate die with an outer cut line that die cuts an A2 panel and can be combined with your stencil, or you can also use this on its own for just a little bit of texture. The next stencil and die only product suite, this one I used in our sneak peek live. So if you didn't catch that, make sure that you watch the replay and where I showed you how you can use these products. So the refined grid comes with a die, a cover plate die. Again, A2 size, but this time without an outer cut line. So instead it cuts these kind of slits and those little circles. And then you can use the coordinating refined grid builder stencils, a 6-piece stencil set, to design or to add to your refined grid die cut. Or you could also use the die for dry embossing and then use the stencils on top. Now the way this works is that you have 6 stencils in total, 2 with hearts, and you can see here these would fill the grid completely. Then you have 2 with sort of rectangles or squares. And then you have 2 more with a more abstract design. And we have some design team inspiration with this as well. And you can use either those pairs or you can combine them and mix and match, like I did, for example, in that YouTube live stream. So I used the rectangles first to fill my grid completely. And then I used only one of those heart stencils to ink blend the hearts and then use some glitter paste on top. So there's lots of mix and match opportunities with this product suite. You can use the stencils on their own. You can use the die on its own for dry embossing, for die cutting. So here is my dry embossed version, for example, and just a really quick ink blend. So this was not, this was just to demonstrate how you can combine even the abstract designs on top. Next, we have 4 more cover plate dies, and what's really special about those is that these were designed to work perfectly paired with each other. So you have the Lattice Glow and Dazzling Diamonds, and you can see on the back, so this is what the Lattice Glow looks like die cut, and this is what the Dazzling Diamonds looks like. And you can, again, use them on their own, or you can combine them and layer them up to get a design like this. And then the other pair is the Modern Mosaic and the Diamond Delight. Again, can be used on their own for die cutting or dry embossing, or you can layer those up like I did for this card, for example, and then I added some glitter cardstock behind those 2 die cuts for a little bit of a sparkly accent. And you can try lots of different versions here with light on dark, dark on light, die cut one from glitter cardstock, tons of options. And again, you can use them on their own, or you can combine them, or you could even combine different ones and try and see what that looks like. Then we have one product that is a stencil only, and this one is called Petal Pop. It's a 6-piece layering stencil set. And again, a great foundational piece. So you can use those 6 layering stencils to fill an A2 panel completely with this design. And there's even a stencil for the background. And with this, you can achieve those really nice contrasty looks and use the stencil for the background with a really dark color and color those florals, for example, with a really light color. Again, tons of options with this and great to be combined with our new sentiments, for example. So this is the Heartfelt Chapters product suite. It's a 4x6 clear stamp set with 12 different sentiments. They are all single stamps. And then the coordinating die set includes all of the 12 sentiments again. And again, we have that magnetic sheet. So all of those dies stay in place, which I think is great, especially with a die set like this that has lots of pieces. Now you have a beautiful mix of sentiments with some scripty ones and some serif fonts. You have things like "So happy to know you," "Sending a smile your way," which was what I used on this card, for example. "Just thinking of you," "You are allowed to rest," "Your kindness shines," and so on. So lovely sentiments that can be used for lots of different occasions. And the Heartfelt Chapters was designed to work with the Floral Tail product suite. This is, again, stencil and die only. So this is the mock-up. So you have the, 6-piece layering stencil that you can use to color in your, let me grab the die so it's a little bit more obvious. So you have this book shape here, you have the bookmark, and then you have some floral elements. And you would use the stencils to color all of those in. And again, you have those really handy alignment triangles. And that way you can color in the book and the florals, and then you die cut them in one go with your die that also has the alignment triangles. So this was one card that I created with the floral tail. And as I said, the Heartfelt chapters sentiments were designed to fit perfectly onto the book pages here. So all of them are small enough to fit on either side of the book. So you can stamp it directly on there, which I did here, which gives a lovely effect. Or you can, of course, use the coordinating dies and die cut it out and use on top of the book, or use the sentiment completely apart. And we have lots of beautiful design team inspiration with this one as well. And then finally, last but not least, we have the Jar of Wishes and Little Things with You. So you have a 3-piece layering stencil that you can use to color in or to add some color to the jar. So you have one stencil layer that colors in the lid, and you can add some color to your jar. You also have a stencil layer that adds a little bit of accents. And then you have a third stencil that you can use to add some color to those tickets. And in those dies, you have 3 ticket dies, you have the jar, and 3 more dies that work with the Little Things With You stamp set. So you can add some, hold on, here you can see it. So you can add some color, and then you can use the Little Things With You 4x6 clear stamp set to add some phrases to your tickets, or also stamp and die cut a larger sentiment. Now, these are all, the smaller ones here, all include things that you might wish to do with someone, like cook dinner together, or explore a new cafe, bake cookies together, go on a night drive, try a new hobby, and so on. So you can add those things to your tickets and just send this to someone to say, hey, let's spend more time together, or I enjoyed spending time with you. And I think that's a really cute concept. And we also have some design team inspiration with this. And you can, again, of course, also use the jar with other products and just get creative and maybe fill up the jar with some flowers, or you can use the tickets on their own with different stamps. Now, I hope you enjoyed this closer look at our new Artful Foundations release. It's available to shop now. And as always, we are giving away the full release on this video. So all you have to do is leave a comment and let us know which of those products you are most excited about. And then you are entered to win the full release. And make sure to also check out our blog hop with more inspiration and lots of prizes to win as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you again soon.